So welcome everybody. We have 33 people here with us, which is really exciting. This is a different class. It's a little bit more intimate. We really want you to feel at home. We want you to feel comfortable to kind of to be here. Now, the purpose of this class is really to help the people who have more recently just onboarded. Okay, so if you've been here for a little while and you already know the ins and outs, you've already got your go-to person, and then you've got some more interesting, intricate questions about the business, because there will always be questions and we will always be learning. I'm going to ask you to save those questions for a great Q&A that we'll do on a Tuesday morning, or we'll do another series of this for Q&A. However, if your questions are relevant to this class, and you'll see what this class is about, this is the class to ask them. Okay, so we're going to really start from the very beginning. I just also want to say, mark this day, because this is Yum Drops 2.0. And I say that because we basically, and it was actually hugely, thanks to Tertia, who is going to be presenting with me tonight. Each week we'll invite other leaders to do the classes. But Tertia, and this is where your business partners come in, guys. Tertia took Yum Drops as it is, and with her skills, her powerful skills, that when you see, you'll know, she up-leveled what we as a team have to offer exponentially. And so a lot of what we'll be talking about tonight, you'll be like, oh, that's interesting. I would like to know more about that. You will know exactly where to go and dive deeper into that. And so this is where, and Tertia will go into that in more detail, but this is the exciting part. So as you sit here, know that you are part of the next level, the leveling up, and welcome. You belong here right now. And I will say that I did put a post out on Facebook, just like, can't wait to hang out, let's get down to business, a little music, because that's what I like to do. And I had WhatsApp, Instagram messages from a bunch of people on a bunch of other doTERRA teams who follow me saying, hey, can we get on that? And I said, no, this is for my team. This is for you guys. And so I want you to know that other people wish they were here tonight, and other people wish they could do what we as a team, because this is a team effort these next 4 weeks, are able to put together. And so be excited to be here. This is like, it's a privilege to work with the women that you'll be working with tonight. So all that being said and done, we want to keep it tight, 30 to 40 minutes, and then we are going to open it up to questions, because we want to hear, oh, there's this thing that I'm not so sure about. Tell me why it has to be this way, because that is often the question with doTERRA, why this way? And then when we explain it, you're like, oh, I get it. And then sometimes you have more questions. We love all the questions. So let's dive in. Of course, there's going to be a cute little slideshow, because there should be, so we know where we're going. Give me a second, I'm going to share. So this class is going to be interesting, but it's not going to be perfect. Why? Because I'm just you a little bit further along the journey. And one day, watch what I'm doing. You're going to be sitting here doing this for other people. So sometimes we're not as like slick as we want to be, but we are still doing it. So welcome to Launch Your Biz Foundation series. It's going to be 4 weeks. We are going to record these classes because 1 week things are going to come up. We are all mothers, we all have families, we have partners, we have life, things come up. And so if you miss a week, which is what could happen, you have the opportunity to listen to the recording of this class for the next 3 days. 3 days after the class launches, you have 3 days to get it in. And the reason for that is we need to give you the urgency to have caught up before the following week. Because if you don't do it, then you miss it. And then when the next one comes, you're a bit confused. You know the things. So we're giving you a little bit accountability, and we're doing it because we love you. 3 days, and then the recording is switched off. And we'll talk about the resources from there. So know that if you do need to miss a class, you have 3 days to catch up. And yes, it's a resource. What are we going to cover in the next Why is this less? Let's make this a little less. So today we're going to talk about the foundations and the mechanics of getting started. Like, what are my 5 steps, 6 steps I need to do to actually start doing this? Then next week we'll talk about authentic inviting and sales, because at the end of the day, this is a business, but it's a business with a little bit of sparkle to it. And we'll talk all about authentic inviting and sales, because the last thing any of us want to be is that oil person. Okay, so week 3, simple follow-up and the customer experience. So really understanding at every level where your responsibility is to the customer, how we onboard them, and the whole purpose of sharing these oils is to empower people. So if we are not empowering people, we're actually missing the part, because we do not want to be their next doctor, their next go-to for help. We actually want them to feel really empowered themselves and then lean on the community. So it's got both, but it's very much empowered health. It's not, you are not the new expert in their lives. You are just a mom just like them, a friend just like them. We're all doing it together. And then in the last week, compensation and future planning. This is, you really need to understand, if you're doing this as a business, how are you making the money? Where are you making the money? And how do you structure and grow for the biggest success? I'm really passionate about week 4. Why? Because when I started, I didn't have a mentor to help me. And so we always say, Dom just vomited all over her business tree. And so I'm very passionate about making sure that we set up for success. Okay, great. We're going to move swiftly today so we can get to the fun part. So building a strong foundation. The foundation of your business is the most important part. And Elite is your foundation. So you're going to hear us talk about different levels in the business. And Elite is your first level. And how you reach Elite is your points that you order. So let's say you order 100 points in a month, plus the points that everybody else who you invite to doTERRA orders, whether they're ordering as a brand new client or they're ordering again because they need extra oils. All of that value, when it gets to 3,000, you are officially paid as an Elite, and we'll talk about how you get paid. So every oil that we order has a points value, and that value looks random to us in South Africa, but when you live in America, the points is pretty much, most times, or very close to the dollar value. So if an oil costs $8, it has 8 points, and that's where the value of the value comes in. Sorry, I'm going to turn my WhatsApp off, apologies. So that's your points value, okay? So every time somebody orders an oil, a number is given to their order, the points value. And when all those points values equal 3,000, you are Elite, okay? So that'll make more sense as you go along. So Elite, it sits here. Oh, did she really put a picture of a pyramid so soon on in this training? Yes, this is a great pyramid, but this is the pyramid of growth within the business. And as you've got to know where you're going, okay? And where you're going is all the way to the top in the business, right? This is your own. There's nobody else in this pyramid. It's your own pyramid, okay? But it's your pyramid of foundations of growth in the business. And really excellently, if you understand that your foundation of your entire business is in the belief in the product. So once you understand that, you understand that your job, your mission right now is to get to love your oils. That's your biggest job right now, is to be using your oils and for them to be your go-to. And that is how you build the foundation of Elite, because what you'll find is to reach this level in your business, you need to be sharing about your oils, and you don't share inauthentically. And so how do you not share inauthentically? You authentically really love these oils and you really feel that they are changing your life. Now, you might be sitting there going, you know, I love these oils, but I've just got them and they're not really changing my life quite yet. But you'll be sure, and guys, the best place to go, the best place to go to be inspired to do this business is our Facebook group, because we have a get to know your community pinned post. And if you read, I have to sit down with a nice cup of hot chocolate and go through those. And I tear up most times, because when you read how these oils, and those are our customers, a lot of those people on there do the business, and most of them are just our customers. And if you read their experiences, you'll understand. So if you're newer and you're a little bit like, I don't know, get to know your oils, because that is the foundation. So your foundation to get to that 3,000 OV is not, come on guys, go drum up more business, enroll more people. That's how you get there. Our way to get there is the foundation is belief in your products. And then you're going to feel this theme throughout this whole training, that we are not here to teach you how to onboard new people, quick, enroll people, trick them this way to get them to get their oils. You don't need to do that. If you are authentically using your oils, that part comes very naturally. And then there are times when tricky questions come and we lean on each other. So what is the first? So if the first foundation is belief in your products, the next question that comes most times, and I'm going to read through this quickly and then I'm going to break it down, is I want to become a doTERRA professional like you. When you talk, and I'm not saying you as in me, when the person who enrolled you, when the person who onboarded you, like when they enrolled you, you joined doTERRA because you felt like, yes, I like what they've got to say. Or you came to a class and the girl was teaching and it was just like, she knows, she knows how this all works. And these are the steps to becoming professional. You don't need to do an aromatherapy course. You don't need to go and study for years, read books for years. You need to do these things. And the best way, and when Tersh and I were putting this together, I said this scenario and it made her laugh. And she said, I like that one. And I said, if you were wearing a really cool pair of Woolworths comfy pants and your friend said, oh, those are nice pants, where did you get those? You wouldn't say, oh, I can't tell her where I got them until I learn to sew, find out what fabrics are in here. And also, I'm not sure what this hue of pink is called. When you're wearing a pair of comfy pants, you say, these are great. And I don't even know what this fabric is, but it's really working for me. And that's how we share authentically, because we're wearing the pants and they rock. And it's the same with your oils. And yes, we are always educating ourselves. And we're often saying to people, it's a really interesting question and I don't know the answer to it, but I'd love to find out it. Because it's when you go and find out the answer with somebody who's asked you that you learn yourself. So I love to find, when a new oil gets launched in South Africa, I dive deep in finding all the different things you can do with that new oil to share with my team. But I love doing it because in doing it, I'm learning it and I'm like, oh my gosh, on my next order. Or sometimes when a new oil is launched, I already have it in my bedroom, but because I didn't really know how you used it, I wasn't using it. And now that I've dived deep in, it's come alive. And that's that crowdsourcing learning way. So you too can very quickly become a professional. Why? Because the resources are there, freely available to you in the way that you like to learn, and you are connected into a community who've been using them longer than you. So you don't need to know. I've never had anybody in my home dealing with eczema. My husband does deal with psoriasis, but I haven't had anyone dealing with eczema. But I know many women on my team who are successfully helping to support the body with eczema. So I know when somebody asks me an eczema question, I know who the people are who I can ask. And we get to know who is the specialist in different areas. So intuition is your greatest resource. And you build your intuition by using your oils. It's like a muscle that has to get stronger because many of us have given away our power to outside as they are the authority. And those of you who have had an experience, maybe you are mothers, you start to, that intuition wakes up in you. You go, oh, I know. And the oils help to wake that intuition up even more. So your intuition becomes stronger like a muscle the more you check in with it. So, you know, even one of my business partners who's been with me for ages, you know, this weekend she was like, I really think 3 drops of frankincense. What do you think? I'm not sure. And I said, well, if you're not sure, if you're feeling this is not feeling sure, split it over 3 doses. And then she split it over 3 doses. And then she came back and she said, no, I really feel like I need to make it 3 drops together. And she went with that. And that's what gave her the result she was looking for. And that was a great test. She was like, I'm practicing, I'm strengthening my intuition. And she didn't say, oh, Dom, why did you tell me 3 separately? She said, let me try that. And then let me meet it back with my intuition. Curiosity, be resourceful. Guys, there are many, 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 many resources around doTERRA on the Google bar, on the DuckDuckGo bar, on the Google search. And as long as you can see that it's from a certified doTERRA, you know, that is a resource. However, we are going to be tapping you into, because we've been working on it, where to go, all our favorite resources. And I'll tell you why. Some people love to read. Some people love a good oily book. I hate a book. Don't give me a book. I don't want to open a book. I don't even take it in when I read it in a book. But I have many other ways. My morning routines are filled with YouTube videos of people teaching about different oils, and I listen to it almost like a podcast as I get ready in my morning, and it's like Netflix to me, and I just absorb it, and I'm fascinated, and I learn that way. I've always been a verbal learner, so I learned very well at school if the teacher was a good teacher, because that's how I learn. Learn, find the way you love to learn, resource library, apply. So take what you learn and go down some little rabbit holes of what's interesting to you. My recent rabbit hole is oil pulling. Go on our group and check it out. And so it's those rabbit holes that you go on that become your way of learning, and then share. That becomes a natural byproduct when you're using your intuition, being curious, learning these things, applying those new things. The sharing actually comes out of that. Without those parts, if you come and you have your 10 oils and you're like, show me how to do this as a business, I don't want to use these oils because I'm going to use them for samples, so I'm not going to go into my box. That is a sure way to have a very hard start in your business. One of our recent team members shared such a great call, and she's like, my business shifted when I just started loving on people with my oils. When I knew somebody was down with pandemic things, I gave them a gift, and I just started to say, this is something that I really know can support you. And she saw her business change in that. And I'm such a strong believer in that authentic sharing. We'll get more into that later on. Okay, so let's talk about some practical steps. What are 5 first steps to jump starting your business? Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Tertia now. She's going to walk us through our 5 steps so you can have a rest from me talking and chat to Tertia. So Tertia, I didn't really introduce myself, but I'm hoping everybody here knows who I am from the last call, but Tertia can introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Tertia. I've been using doTERRA for 7 years, way before we actually got into the country. And I used to get people to smuggle it in from all over the world for me. Luckily, I've got a lot of friends overseas, and it really changed my life just with 3 oils initially. And then obviously when it came into the country, we could order it on as much as we wanted. It just took it to a different level. But we can talk about that on another day. The thing that I really love about the doTERRA business is that you actually do get to be a beginner every single day. There is something new that you learn every day. And it's kind of ridiculous because sometimes you use your oils and you go, oh my goodness, I can't believe it's actually working this well. And that's after 7 years of use. So there's always something new, there's always a surprise. And that's really what makes it fun from a product perspective. And then of course, from a people perspective, we have a great team, great customers, experienced groups. There's so much that we can share and learn every day. So you can really kind of lean into being a beginner and really start enjoying that, because there's all the support you need as a beginner, and there's all the new things and all the exciting things you get to experience as a beginner every single day. So step number one really is finding your mentor. Now, that's usually the person who's enrolled you, but you might have to go a little bit, move around it. But if you think about it differently, at some stage in our doTERRA business journey, we play 3 roles mainly, actually maybe even 4. The one is that we have an upline or business mentor. Now, that could be typically is the person who's doing a business and has enrolled you. And then we also have a sponsor. Now, a sponsor could be somebody that is your upline, but is not the person who's enrolled you and is not actually supporting you from a business perspective. But it's somebody that you're going to find on your little WhatsApp group with your upline where you can ask questions and you help each other out, etc. But your sponsor could actually be your upline as well. So don't worry about that too much. It's just we play these roles all the time. And then, of course, you've got your team. So that could be your cross line. So if you are a Nicola's team, then Theoni and I are your cross line, but it also is people in other doTERRA teams, not just our team. And that is the exciting part of where we are right now, is that although we are a team and the top team in South Africa, we now also are starting to build a community outside of a team. And that is really taking it to the next level. So it's very important to understand who these people are and where you find them. So if you don't know who your upline is, if your upline is somebody who's actually not doing the business, and that's kind of how you got into it, then we can help you to actually find the person who's going to mentor you. And that is really important because we're trying to set you up to start quickly. And that means being a beginner, not knowing everything, and focusing on what's really important so you can get going and you've got that support. And there's lots of it. So that's your upline, and we can help you find that person. And then, of course, you'll have your smaller builders groups where you can ask all the questions. And then we've got our big builders group where we really get more announcements and highlights, etc. And that just makes it easy for us to consume all the information, the content that's coming to us, and all the stuff that we have to learn. Step number 2, that's really, really important, and we're not going to explain 100% why, but just trust us on this one, is that if you have decided you want to do this business and you're not a wellness advocate yet, don't upgrade yet. So Dom often refers to the tree. In this doTERRA business and the way that the structure works, and it's very typical of this type of business model, is that you don't have a lot of space and time to move people around. So one of those occasions in the doTERRA business where we can move and structure the business is when you actually sign up as a wellness advocate. And that's why we always say you wait until you've got somebody that's ready to enroll. You reach out to your upline, and we make sure that you're actually in the right place of the business that benefits you. And that has an impact over time on how quickly you earn certain commissions and compensation. So we'll dive into that a little bit more when we do compensation, but just remember that point. Do not upgrade until you actually have a client to enroll, and then we've got a bit of time to actually get to strategize and get you into the right position to optimize the way that we work and the compensation that we get. Okay, Dom, next slide. Step number 3, and this is the stuff that's got so excited, and this is our Yum Drops Hub. Now we've got, actually in the Yum Drops Hub, we've got 2 areas. The one is Yum Drops Hub, which is really where we're going to start inviting our customers from next week onward as well. But in there, we're not going to duplicate information across Yum Drops Hub and Yum Drops Biz. Yum Drops Biz is kind of like our Yum Drops back office. It's where you get all the information we share on these calls, anything you need to know, how to set up your LRP, how to track deliveries, all those sorts of things will be in the Yum Drops Biz. So there's those 2 places. But in Yum Drops Hub, you get to know everything that the customer's got access to as well. So you'll get to know your oils. How do you get started? So it's a resource for you, but it's also a resource for your customer. So you need to know it as well as what your customer potentially could get to know that. In the Yum Drops Biz, we've got slightly different topics. And there, for example, I will show you just now is all the information that you need to get started as well. So it's actually all in one single place. And because we've got in the Yum Drops Hub now, it's actually easy for us to find, easy to sort, and it's not all the craziness that we can get onto a WhatsApp group. So if I show you quickly, I'm going to show you just a little bit about the hub. Share. As you can see, some of you would have now already been invited to the hub, and some of you would have now also had an invite to the biz as well. So I'm going to assume that you've got the biz, because if you don't have the invite yet, you will have it soon. So when you navigate to Pure Republic, and this is the network where we actually loading all our Yum Drop stuff. When you land, it's kind of like a private Facebook type of scene. So if you click on it and you see the first thing you see is your home, you'll see your feed. Here you'll see in sequence, like Facebook, all the content that's been posted in the spaces where you have access to. So in your case, Biz and the Yum Drops Hub. So you can really just scroll here. So it could be your Facebook just for oils if you wanted to do that. You can also go to the discovery and you get the summary of who's online, what are the different things that are available, the events, the 2 spaces that you've got access to. And then, of course, you could also go into the spaces themselves. Now, the 2 spaces that you've got is Yum Drops Hub and Yum Drops Biz. So if you go to Yum Drops Hub, client space. So here we've got all the stuff that a client can get to, and you can actually go again, scroll in the same way, or what really works well for me personally, my head works in a very structured way, is to actually come to the topics here where you've got different topics you can go into. So it's how, if you're new to oils, everything about how you get started, get to know your oils, and we'll talk about why that's important in a second. You've got all your ongoing education and cheat sheets, your promotions, and also accessories that are available to us on our team. If you navigate back and you go to the Yum Drops Biz, what you will see here is, again, quite the same everywhere. You get the feed, but you also get the topics. So you can look at your class tools. This is when you're starting to present your own classes, your monthly business tools, all the stuff that you need to know on a monthly basis. We write, the 21-day challenge content that you need, anything you need to grow your business. But really interesting for you guys is what we've got here is the content we're going to be covering in the next 4 weeks. So there you can see your invite for the different events, but you can also see that we've got some other content here for you. So that's where you will go for that. So that's the hub, and that's really important because all the content that you need is actually there in the hub for you. Okay, Dom, if you want to share your next slide. Okay, now step number 4 is probably the most important thing. It seems like such an obvious statement, but you really need to use your oils. So if you go and read all the content on the hub, that's going to be fantastic. But until you can actually feel it, it doesn't become authentic to you. And a couple of years ago, many years ago, I changed my diet and I went on to ketogenic diet. And it's a complex thing to do. There's so much information. It's custom to every person. Everybody's body responds differently. And the best advice somebody actually gave me was take all the food out your house and start again. Start as if it's a totally new way of living. And that's what you have to do with your oils as well. Because one, you have to really change your mind to think that if you have a headache, instead of going and doing the way you used to do, go to your oils first. Think of your oils as an alternative. And by doing that, you're actually changing the way that your mind thinks about how you integrate oils and wellness into your life. So it's really programming your way of thinking about looking at things. And it's different for everybody. I might like to have lime in my water. Other people may not want to ingest oils at all. That's okay, as long as you find your groove and who you are with the oils. And why that is important is because then when you share, you're sharing experiences and you're sharing authentically based on what's worked for you. It doesn't mean that everybody that's going to buy from you is going to buy exactly the same or be exactly the same as you, but that's also what you've got the greater group for, is that sharing experiences. What did you use for eczema, Dom? I use this. Okay, I also tried this. That's how we get to know our oils. So using your oils, being curious, and if you don't know what to do with your oils, when I got my top 10, well, actually I didn't join the top 10 kit. I was lucky. I joined the BOGO week, so I got I think 10 or 11 oils there, and then I got my top 10 kit. And if I didn't know what to do with it in the very early days of having so many oils compared to 3, I would stand in front of my oils, I'd look at them, and I'd just follow my intuition. Pick up one that I thought might be interesting and smell it. Add another one, smell 3, put that in the diffuser. And that's how I got to know my oils. And if I was trying to deal with something, I couldn't sleep, I just followed my instinct. I tried things. And that's really important because that gives you the confidence and the experience to be able to share your oils. And you don't have to know how to do it all yourself. What Dom did here is she took some inspiration from Desiree Mangendorp, one of my favorite doTERRA people. And she just put together a little protocol to actually just inspire you to get going. And this is something you can definitely start as homework this week, is start using this protocol every day and then try incorporate other oils into what you're doing. And that will give you all the experiences you need to share with anybody who wants to talk to you about oils. Okay,
cool. One. Thanks, Tosha. Okay, so we're on step 1 to 4 down, 2 more steps to go. A little thing about this little protocol. The reason I put this protocol on here is because it actually came from a talk I did. I did a talk for the whole of doTERRA South Africa, and I used this. And I love to give it to new people starting to do the business, only because it's a little out there, you know? It's not a common way that we are using our oils. Everybody uses peppermint and wild orange together, that's common. But actually using these oils, you know, down your solar plexus, around your belly button, and actually starting to like play a little bit with how we're applying the oils will be a fun way to do it. And you can find this recipe, if you're not screen grabbing it, in the hub. Okay, let's talk about LRP. LRP is my favorite subject to talk about for 2 different reasons. You have to, and when you, like, if you can see any of the faces of our regular people on here, they will know I am the 100 PV crazy woman, and I'll tell you why. If you have 100 PV saved in your cart, not spent, saved in your cart, when the algorithm comes through, it's telling doTERRA that you are doing the business, and I'm going to explain that to you. So in order to earn with doTERRA, you have to spend 100 PV to earn money. This is your business investment, okay? If anybody wants to talk to me about, that's quite an investment, we can dive in really deep there, and I did that in last week's call. The biz call. I'm really hoping that you've all seen that, because Tosh and I should have said it, but that is the real foundation to this class. So we were able to talk quicker through this class because you guys already know the ethics of this company and the product and all of that. But the business investment. Now that you understand all that we've said about the foundation of growing this business, you now understand why doTERRA doesn't want people coming in and making money if they are not authentically using the oils themselves. You do not need to buy oils to sell on to other people. You don't have to hold stock. They don't expect you to do that. Many businesses expect you to buy 5-10 grams worth of product so that you've got it on hand if somebody needs it. And we don't have that. We have a full warehouse that delivers the product for us. But what they do require is that you, as somebody that is doing the business, is investing in your own growth. Okay, and it works really well. You will get to know the glow that comes from doing 100 PV. Now, if you notice here, I made this visual because I'm trying to explain my point very clearly. We get paid, and you'll understand some compensation, but know this, we get paid every Wednesday. So if you do not have 100 PV saved in your cart, and the computer comes round on a Wednesday, and you don't have 100 PV saved, they don't care that you made, well, the computer doesn't care because it doesn't have feelings, doTERRA cries, but they don't know that you're doing the business. And so they just bypass paying you. Okay, so let's say you enrolled somebody, but you aren't ready to buy your oils yet. You don't know what you want to buy this month. As long as you have 100 PV saved in your cart, they will pay you. Okay, now, what that does is it gives you the option to decide what is in your business investment for that month. Meaning, if you have a month when you haven't enrolled anybody, you actually get a choice if you want to buy 100 PV that month. Our suggestion is that you always do 50 PV, and I'll explain that in a second. But if you are not making money in a month, you do not need to do 100 PV in a month. But if you have made money and you'd like to earn that money, You have to process 100 PV. But regardless of both of those, we advise you to keep 100 PV in your cart saved at all times, because you do not know how your month is going to go. So let's say you decide to process your order on the 2nd of the month and you're going for a toothpaste this month, 4 PV. Buy your toothpaste and still put your cart up to 100 PV. Why? Because you are not only earning off of what you're doing in the business. There are people underneath you doing the business and people underneath them doing the business. And so you might get to the end of the month and realize that you've actually earned every week. And we'll explain how you earn off the people underneath you. And then you can make a business decision for yourself. It's quite a tricky one to get your head around. I'm trusting that everybody knows what LRP is right now. So every person who joins doTERRA gets 25% off if you are a member. So that's any order you do, you get 25% off because you are a doTERRA member and you have a member's number. Everybody, regardless of whether you're ordering 1 PV or 200, if you are in the Loyalty Rewards program, you will get your shipping back in points, 4 points. Okay, 4 points is the equivalent to 75 Rand. So you'll get your shipping back. Doesn't matter what you order, you'll get 4 points if you're in the loyalty program. Now, if you are in the loyalty program and you order 50 PV, you will also get a percentage back of your order. So if you order 50 PV and you're on 10%, you'll get 5 PV back. If you're on 30%, you'll get 30% of 50 PV back. And so now you're starting to stockpile points so that you actually pay much less for your oils. And we'll talk about that in a second. If you want to earn money with doTERRA, you need to process 100 PV. If you would like to get the product of a month, you need to process at least 125 PV before the 15th. Now this visual will be in the hub for you to look and dive into a little deeper. And usually when we do a 200 PV promotion, we did one recently with frankincense, you can get that promotion whether you do a standard order or whether you're in the LRP. Okay, so if you do a 200 PV order before the 15th of the month, you'll get your shipping back, you'll get a percentage back of your oils, you'll get the free product of the month, you'll get paid, and you'll get the 200 PV product. So do you understand that if you're doing a 200 PV order in a special, you qualify for everything? Okay. So understand that your percentage you're getting back in your LRP is going up every month that you order in that Loyalty Rewards program. Now, my next visual is not cute. It's not cute because they didn't have it downloadable from where I get my visuals from. So it's got some stuff on it, but just live with it because it's a really good visual. I want to explain this. Okay, so forget those drops. I've emailed them. They're going to give me the real visual. If you are ordering every single month, 50 PV or more, this is for everybody, customers, us alike. If you order, your percentage, you get 10% back in the first 3 months, 15% back in the next, 20% back in the next, 25%. And then when you've been ordering for over a year like me, I get 25% off the products because I'm a member, and I get 30% of my products back in points. So if I'm ordering 100 PV in a month, which I always do because I do the business, I get 30 points back. Basically got a frankincense for free. So I don't buy frankincense, I don't buy yarrow palm, and I do not buy immortelle. I get those all for free. I don't like paying more than that for them because I'm earning it. And once you start understanding how powerful this Loyalty Rewards program is, you will be so excited because it is one of the best rewards programs out there. And so understanding how that rewards program grows from loyalty, ordering every month, they reward you for that loyalty. Now, if you are, let me just use example 3. Let's say you start out in your first month and you do your 50 to 100 PV order, but then the next month, financially, it's not the right time for you, so you don't. You just order one thing, so you stay in the program. You just miss a month. Then you order again and you get 10% back. And then you don't order again And then you still, so do you see how you're always going to have 3 months at 10%? Okay. Then you're going to, so it's going to take you longer than 13 months to get to, well, 12 months to get to your 30%, but you were still climbing the ladder. And so what we say is if you are deciding to do this as a business, we advise you, so here's where this all comes together, we really advise you to at least do 50 PV. Why? Because by doing 50 PV, you're jumping this quickly. And the quicker you can get to 30% back, the quicker you are getting more and more points back every time you order. And what do I love about points? Points are the reason I am very free at sharing my oils. I love to share my oils. Why? Because, like, guys, right now I have 600 points just sitting in my account, hanging out, waiting for Yarrow Palm to get used up because it takes a while. But I feel much more like, let me love on you, let me share my oils, because I have this abundance. I'm not in lack mentality. Because sometimes in the beginning you're like, oh, how can I share my oils? I've got to put like 2 drops of frankincense in here. You know how much I love my frankincense. And so we want to get you to that place where you are feeling abundant about your oils. And we want to do it in a way that rewards you, that really is beneficial to you. Okay, I'm actually going to stop here. Why? Because LRP is one of those things that we really need to answer questions for. So does anybody have any questions about LRP? Like, I'm talking to you and you're like, can you just go through that 10% thing again? Or please, you are welcome if you are feeling like, oh, I don't want to be the first person to ask a question. You're welcome to chat to me and ask a question. I'm more than happy to take typed questions and unmuted questions on the whole LRP situation. While you're thinking of your, I'm going to say, get clever with LRP. Try out the toothpaste, try out the moisturizer, try out the hand wash. Why am I saying that's clever? Because these are things you were buying in your home anyway. I don't know anybody who doesn't buy toothpaste, moisturizer, and hand wash. Now, if you haven't tried the doTERRA one, I'm going to say they're pretty good. You may try the moisturizer and say it's not for me, and that's okay. But if it is for you and you do love it, well, then won't it be so exciting to be your business investment? Your face cream is your business investment. For LRP, do you only earn on the people below you who are also on LRP? No, you earn on every order placed in your business. One-time orders, LRP orders, new enrollments, everything. The PV is just points that people have ordered, and people spend points whether they're buying it on a one-time or in the LRP. They don't earn points. So I hope that answers that. Does your initial starter pack PV points count towards your LRP? No, you can't be in the loyalty program until the next month. Why? Because you're starting. You can't be loyal and start at the same time. Many people are loyal from the minute they start. I understand that. But the loyalty, it's actually a program that you join as a loyal customer now. So once you've got your oils, you can join the loyalty in the next month. Checking I've got this straight. If you order nothing in a month, you lose all your points accumulated. No, you don't lose all your points. You just have to order one thing, okay? So once you're in the loyalty program, you're committing to order one thing. Now, guys, if 1 month you're in a place where 80 Rand is all you're going to invest that month, that is one thing. It's actually 4 points. You stay in a holding place for that month. You don't lose anything. You don't even lose your, let's go back to this picture. This is a good question. So let's say you've gone all the way up to here. You ordered, this is not a missed month. It's an ordered one thing month. It didn't order 50 PV, just ordered a toothpaste. Okay, so you've come all the way up here. Now you're on 20%. And now next month you're like, I can't order 50 PV this month. Guys, can I just say, when you're doing the business, by the time you get to here, this isn't even a question, because the money's coming in and it's paying for itself. And understand, you don't have to figure out what you're going to do at month 11, because by month 11, you're earning enough that your 100 PV is taken care of. I'm going to just plant that seed there. This question, however, is a good question to answer to your customers. Let's say a customer has been on the Loyalty Rewards program and this month they don't have the finances to spend 50 PV. They're just going to buy one thing. Then they just stay like treading water. They're just in a holding position. at their percentage with all their points they're hoarding till they can buy frankincense. And then next month, if they do 50 PV, they will move up. So as long as you're doing one thing, you're just in a holding place. As soon as you do 50 PV, you move up a percentage.
So I was going to add something. We also mustn't get confused with your percentage that you get back in points and your actual points. So if you are following example number 1 there, and every month you order as a customer 50 PV, you will over a year get back an additional 25%, or actually additional 30% over your 25% discount. So that's for a customer. You have to just order that 50 PV every month. The 100 PV obviously only comes in if you want to earn your commission. But also very important is that if you're only ordering in that gray month where you order one item, you don't lose the points that you've earned. Your percentage stays stable, and the points that you've earned that goes into your back office that you can exchange for other products stays there. The only time you lose your percentage or you lose your points is if you cancel your LRP.
Opt out.
Yeah. So that means they make it quite hard. You actually have to phone them and tell them to come out, which is really good for us because you can't accidentally get out of it and then lose all your points or lose all your percentages. The other very important thing for a builder about buying your 100 or your 50 PV, depending what makes sense, is that you're going to be giving a lot of oils away to people as samples. So you want to try and get to that 30% as quickly as possible, because effectively you're getting 55% discount off your oil products when you get to the 30%. So as a builder, if you're serious about that, try and get to the 30% as quickly as you possibly can.
Because once you're at your 30%, you're there. Like, even if you order forever. And so it's actually quite a nice thing to say to yourself as a business investment, I want to get to the 30%. You know, when I buy face cream, I don't think of that price. I think of that price less 30% on top of that already priced. Then it makes it, you know, a really affordable clean face cream, you know. Okay, I'm going to stop one more time for questions around LRP. Anybody else got any questions? So everybody knows customers can be on LRP and then they're just loyal customers and they don't have to order a certain amount, and it's like shop. Like, do I tell you how much to buy on Takealot? No, you shop on Takealot with your own money and however much you want to do. The loyalty program is free to join, it's free to leave, and you can order 1 or 100 things in a month. For a builder, we say get to the 30% as quickly as you can, and we also say if you are earning, you have to do 100 PV to earn, and you always, and I'm really strict about this, you always have to have 100 PV saved in your cart. So that's why we set the date, most of us, for the LRP cart to the last day of the month, like 27th, 28th, only because most of us will process before the 15th because we want that free product of the month. But let's say you process before the 15th of the month and it was 125 PV. If you put your cart down to 1 PV and Wednesday comes, you won't get paid, even though you've already spent 100 PV, because the computer can't see what you've spent. All it does is see whose cart is saved at 100 PV. It actually doesn't care if you don't spend it at the end of the month when it's paying you. Now, at the end of the month, if you don't spend 100 PV, they will retract that money back because you only earn if you do 100 PV. Any questions on that? It's a really important one. The first thing you have to do when you go off this call is you have to go, if you aren't on LRP, you've got to, okay, so first go find your mentor. And then if you aren't on LRP, get on LRP and save your cart, even if you're just a customer. Because even as a customer, while you're getting your business going, you want to be in the LRP program because you want to be using your oils and you want to be starting that journey. Even if the first 2 months you don't order 50 PV, you want to just getting used to saving your cart, doing all of that. Any other questions, guys, on the LRP oil? No? Okay. LRP questions can come again at the end. The sixth and last the sixth and last one, that's why we just spent a lot of time on the LRP, because it's the most questions, is understanding where to plug people in. So she's on this call tonight. I had somebody who said, I'm ready to start the business to me. And the first thing I said to her was, we have a class on Tuesday nights. If you've got anybody who would like to come to this class, you're welcome to just plug them in. And she worked with me as her mentor to know, okay, here's how we send them this invite. Once they register, we send them a little class handout, this here. And then I also share in the Biz Hub the slides that I'm going to be going through in the class so that you know what to expect. Now, if you are going to start sharing with people, it's really important that you understand what gets told in a 101 class. Because here's what gets told in a 101 class. What makes doTERRA different? 1, 2, 3. 3 things that make doTERRA different to the oils you can buy at Dis-Chem, the oils you can buy anywhere else. That's what we teach in the class. And then we teach you 3 different ways that we use essential oils. If you are sharing with, oh my gosh, I used lavender last night and it changed my life, my baby slept. And you don't explain to people that the lavender you used last night was 100% pure and natural, nothing added, nothing taken away. They will just go to Dis-Chem and buy lavender and be like, you know, I put this on my, she just said she had a headache. And I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying a lot of lavender has fragrances in it. So you don't want to be teaching people how to use oils until they know what oils. It's really important. It's actually dangerous to teach people how to use oils in general, because not all oils were created equal. I don't need to teach you guys that. If I enrolled, oh, good question, Carl. If I enrolled in September last year and I haven't bought anything since, is it a bad thing based on what Tertia said, that you should wait until you have someone to enroll before you join LRP? No, you should wait. So you are right now, you are a customer. You are just a wellness advocate. I'm just a doTERRA customer. And now you're coming to the business training. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to find out who your mentor is. Is that Coralie who's writing that? Coral, do you know who your mentor is? I think your mentor is Shasta, okay? So you're going to find Shasta and you're just going to stay exactly as you are. And I don't think that's Coralie. Yes, it is Coralie. Coralie, you're already in the LRP program, okay? So you're in the LRP program, but you just haven't been saving and building as a builder yet. Why? Because you're not enrolling anybody, okay? So you're already in the program, you're just buying one thing every month. You're not spending 100 PV. You are just a customer. Customers don't have to spend 100 PV. So now you just continue being in the program. You may want to, this is optional, guys, bump it up to 50 a month so that you start moving up that ladder. Or you may just stay where you are until you start earning some money, until you start onboarding some people. It's from that point that you want to start doing the 100 PV, or at least the 50, so that you can start. But it's at that point that you're earning money. So don't think of that LRP cart as oh, now I've got to spend this much money. Because if that's how you're viewing it, guys, it's the wrong approach. Let go of the money, let go of the amount and go, I can't wait to spend 100 PV, because when I'm spending 100 PV, it means I'm earning. So that's when you're spending 100 PV, okay? And until you're earning, don't be out of pocket. Like, be sensible, okay? So let me tell you another situation. Coralie is actually a wellness advocate, and because we know that she's interested and excited to do the business, Shasta and I have already started putting people with her in the business. So once you start to see that, you realize that you are actually earning a percentage of all the people that are underneath you. So you also start to realize that earnings to pay your 100 PV doesn't just come from you. It comes from the collective. And now you start to see you've got your own business with your own responsibilities, but we all are interconnected. And now it becomes a little bit more exciting. It's not just you on your own, but it also doesn't work unless you're putting the energy in. So that's an important part of participation. It's our new word that we're going to focus on a lot. And participation for you, your job of participation is falling in love with your oils. That's your job right now. That's your participation in this business, in this team.
And maybe just something to clear up. It's not that you shouldn't join LRP until you have somebody to enroll. You shouldn't become a wellness advocate until you've got somebody to enroll. That's the difference. So LRP and LRP is for everybody. Wellness advocate is for people who want to do the business. And then you start doing your LRP at 100 to qualify for your payments.
So currently you're already a wellness advocate and you didn't even realize that because there were plans for you. So Shasta had, and I know that she, as your mentor, she had a vision for you. And so you're already a wellness advocate and she is putting people underneath you. That's why it's confusing to you, because you don't even know how you do that. And sometimes people are placeholders. Okay, so they're placeholders, they become wellness advocates as a placeholder, and then they decide to do the business. Or perhaps people become wellness advocates because they're a sharer right now. And we get into all those different things in the next classes. Okay, so that is all the steps. And now we answer some questions. We're exactly at 8:30, so if you guys can stay on to do the questions, that would be great. If you can't stay on, we're only going to do about 15 more minutes. If you can't stay on, that's okay as well, because you have access to this recording for the next 3 days. If you can't stay on for the questions, you're going to go to the Biz Hub and you're going to forward this class and just go to the question part. So here's your homework. So for those of you that need to go, homework number 1, you have got to play with your oils. Homework number 2, and what we'd love to do is there's a comment section in this Biz call where this Biz thing is, and we can comment in there, and we would love everybody to comment on one new way they used an oil. It could be as simple as, I've just never tried lemon in my water and I did it this week and this is how I feel about it. It tastes disgusting and I'm never doing it again. Never seen that one, but that's what I'm talking about, okay? So sharing experiences. That's homework number 1, use your oils. Homework number 2, make sure you know who your mentor is and make sure you are in your mini builders group. Okay, there's not many mini builders groups. So there's the main builders group where I usually post most of the information. And then everybody has a smaller builders group and they're really only, what's it, Tertia? 6, we worked out 7 main ones. So if one of these names makes sense to you, then you will go to this group. So let's start on this side. I'm going to do it in the order of my tree. So we have Belinda's group. Okay, she has a builders group. If you are in the line of Belinda, or you've heard of Belinda, you're in her group. Then we have a subgroup in there called Theoni's group. Okay, so Theoni will have an entire builders group and Belinda will have a whole builders group. And then we move along. Livia has a builders group and Jill has a builders group. And then we have Nicola with a builders group. And then we have Shasta with a builders group, and a subgroup under Shasta is Kushner's group. And those are our main builders groups in this business. So if you don't know any of those people, that's who you need to go and find out who they are. Because in that builders group, guys, those are your sisters, okay? And your sisters will help you answer all the nitty-gritty questions. Oh my gosh, guys, I've got somebody in the UK who wants to enroll and I'm not sure how to do it. Everybody will answer those questions to you. And it can be a little bit more noisy as you're getting to know the business. Oh my gosh, I've got somebody asking me this question. I don't know where to start. There are enough people in those groups who will help you, because we don't want to be taking the big group that has 84 people and then all the new people asking the questions, and then we can't support you because we've lost all the information. So the main builders group is for output of information. And then the Belinda's group, the Theoni's, all those groups I've mentioned have a builders group where you reach out to your sisters for information. Help, I've got somebody, or the best one, guys, I'm trying to enroll somebody and the system's glitching. Come to us for help there. Don't be frustrated. That's where you go to do that. And so that is find your mentor, use your oils. The third thing, guys, you got to go find the hub, okay? So your mentor, your person is going to tell you how to find the hub. We are not going to spoon feed you the hub. We want you to say, hey, can somebody tell me where to find the hub? Now, every single one of you should be on the main builders group. And if you can't find your person, I am everybody. Okay? So at last resort, you will come to Dom and say, Dom, please tell me where I should be and where to get into the biz. And I will just guide everybody where they need to be. Okay. So that is your homework. Find the biz, use your oils, find your mentor. You've got a lot of to do this week. So I'm going to say goodbye to those of you who need to run. Thank you for joining us. I hope you feel like, okay, I know what I need to do now. If you are ready to, you are ready. You can start sending people to Tuesday night's class. And this is where your mentor is going to guide you. Yes, here's where you find the invite. Everything's in the Biz Hub, guys. So the invite, the flyer, everything's there. So you can just be like, okay, I want to invite a whole bunch of people. Here's the invite. Here's the registration form. I just send them that. They register. But your mentor will guide you through those processes. And guys, wait. Don't feel so overwhelmed. I'm only telling you that because we will be going through it in great detail here. Some of you may just get started tomorrow. So I want you to know you do not have to wait till week 4 to start this business. Okay. Here's the golden rule. Great question, though. Never, ever, ever in your whole entire life order on one time if you're in the LRP program. That is the bottom line. Never order on one-time order, ever, ever. And the reason that's a golden rule for you is once you're in the LRP, you just have an editable cart, and you can order in that cart as many times as you want in a month. You would just hit process order now rather than wait until your LRP date goes off. If you this month placed a one-time order, you can talk to your upline and we can just switch it over into LRP. So don't be sad if you've done that. So you never place 2 LRP orders on carts. You always have one LRP order that you edit every time. Do we need to enroll people every month? Do you stay elite if you don't have anyone to enroll? So no, you do not need to enroll people every month. I would suggest you do, but months, different people come into your life. Okay, here's this part. Every month, all the people who have enrolled and all the people who have ordered create points. And every month you start at 0 again, okay? But it grows, okay? So every month you start at 0, but now you've got more people in your team. And so you always start ahead of the game at the beginning of every month, okay? So there is no requirement, guys. There is no requirement to place a 100 PB order. There is no requirement to enroll people. There is no actual requirement, which actually makes this business a little different to getting a job. Because when you get a job and you've got targets you have to hit in order to do it, then you've got that pressure to help you. Some people like the pressure to help them. In this job, it's your business. If you don't enroll people this month, that's your business, you know? So you feel very empowered, but it also you have to self-motivate. So we're here to a little bit motivate you too. But yeah, so once you reach a rank, you are that rank. You may not reach it every month. So to earn that rank, you have to reach it every month. But to achieve that rank, once you reach a rank, you never rank down, but you don't earn it that rank unless you reach it every single month. I hope that helps. But we'll get into that with commissions. Don't think this is the last word on that. Okay, guys. And the questions, because these are my top questions. Can I share with someone not in South Africa? This is a global business. What you are building now, you can take all over the world with you. You can enroll people in every open market. So there are some markets by, let me think of some other ones. India, not India, India's open. There's one or two others, the African countries, right now, but not for long. Zimbabwe, what are some of the first ones that are opening? Namibia, they're going to open those and we'll talk you through how we're going to enroll for Greater Africa, them from the South African website. But other countries, the UK, America, Australia, all the big countries, enroll away. They live in your tree, whatever they order in their country. We have WhatsApp groups where we share their specials for the month. You can have a global business, and then you can take your business everywhere you go. Do people have to enroll with a kit? This is a longer answer, so I'm wondering if we want to finish off on, I'm actually going to let Tertia talk about the last question, and then we'll go back to that one. How can I start talking about doTERRA? So I'm just going to hand over to Tertia for this because it's important.
Okay, so there's a lot to learn, and it can get quite complex. So what we're trying to guide you is just taking baby steps. So how can you start talking about doTERRA? So you guys might hear something called compliance, and this is around how we talk to our customers about the promises we make about the product and the company. And this is extremely important in the US, where doTERRA gets managed by the FDA. In South Africa, we've got similar rules, but they're not quite as strict because doTERRA doesn't have a legal entity in this country as such for which they can be held liable. So in terms of getting started, a great way to start sharing is on your social media and on your Facebook. The one thing not to do, simply because you're probably going to undo it and it's going to be unnecessary work, is start a website. doTERRA is extremely strict about what you can put on a website and what the process is. So we can coach you through that when the time is right. But really start talking about sharing it on social media, etc. And on the Young Drops Biz Hub, we'll put some guidelines around what are the types of things that you can say. But a couple of basic rules is that we never associate the oils with the name of a disease. So we don't say doTERRA oils are great for flu, doTERRA oils are great for COVID. You also don't associate the oils with a medication. So you don't say, oh, use Breathe instead of ACT 200 as an example. So you'll learn, and I'm sure you would have seen it. Sometimes we speak some funny language. You go seasonal threats, that's allergies, or we talk about respiratory support. I've got a cough. So there's a bit of guidelines there. That content will be on there as well. There's also a big process. If you're ever concerned that you're saying something that might be wrong, we could help you. There's also doTERRA has a compliance office. You can email them or phone them, and they can help you as well. And that just makes us very responsible doTERRA citizens, because we want to be spending time sharing the oils, not dealing with having said the wrong thing. So there's some guidelines in that. And that's why our advice is don't start a website. That is the most complicated way to do this. It's really hard, and actually there's very little that doTERRA allows us to do without a lot of work. But there's other ways we can help you to establish your online presence. So you can just reach out to us if you need help with that.
Yeah, and just particularly for these times, it's really, especially if this is how the oils have been supporting you, and you've got things that can help. You know, I would say I'm really leaning on these oils in these times. I can say that, you know, but I can't say I'm really glad I've got these oils, especially with so much COVID out there, you know. So you can say things that, and when we talk about the oils, we talk about how they support. So they support the immune system to do what it knows to do. And actually that's what they do. They are not the cure. They are helping the body to remember what it already knows to do. They are nature's borrowed intelligence so that our bodies remember, because we've got old and we've got our body and our food doesn't have as much stuff in it. But now I'm teaching a 101. Okay, so yes, Ruth, don't make medical claims, you know, because we aren't medical professionals. We are actually using empowered self-care. Okay, so I want to go back to any other questions here. Is everyone feeling okay about LRP? If you're confused about LRP, and if anything in this class comes up, write down your questions and take them to your mentor. It's really important because that's where you grow and you learn, and you develop a relationship of support, okay? The beauty of this business is that it is your own business, but everybody's business mutually benefits each other's. And so all of a sudden, We are components of the whole with autonomy. And it's actually a really lovely way to feel a part of a community while also running your own business. Okay, I'm going to open up to some more questions. Anyone else have any questions? Don't know about you guys, but this question, do people have to enroll with a kit? Can't they buy on my account or a full price? It's really a very complex answer, not that it's complex. Can people enroll without a kit? Yes, they can. However, when you enroll without a kit, you choose 1 or 2 oils. And remember, the biggest part about doing this business is supporting people in using their oils. When the people you're supporting don't have a foundation of health, a collection of oils to support their health, every time they ask you for support, hey Dom, my little one's got an earache. Hey Dom, my little one's got a tummy ache, but they just bought, I don't know what they just bought. Who would buy 1 oil? I don't know. Balance. You know, if they just bought that 1 oil because they thought it was like a really cool oil, when they talk to you, you actually, it's much harder because you're selling to them every time. So every time you say, okay, they're like, oh, I went on there and now I need this oil. However, when they have the top 10, they can come to you and say, wow, I read these oils can really support us emotionally. And you can support them emotionally with the top 10. So I had a lady contact me today and she's like, I really need help with my child who is anxious and he needs grounding and he needs support. What can I buy this month to support him? And my answer was, these 2 oils are very supportive for what you're looking for in the fact that you're in the loyalty program and you want to buy something. However, combine peppermint, frankincense, and lavender now and start supporting him tonight, not when your delivery arrives. And then she got off the phone feeling supported, seen, and also informed without feeling like I was like, oh, 4 oils you could buy right now that would support that, because there are lots. But what you have in your home is to support you. And so that's a really big part of the oils, is because we are not trying to make quick sales and enroll people. We're actually trying to empower people to have tools in their home. Because in these times, when you aren't well, you are told, I'm sorry you've got an illness caused by a virus. Please go home and lock yourself away from everybody. And so if you understand how supportive, empowered health, things you can reach for, and community, even if you're just a customer, you become part of a community, then you start to realize, I'm not selling these people 1 oil for their tummy ache. I'm actually giving them tools and bringing them into a community, and they can tap into that community in any way that suits them. They don't have to get 100 WhatsApp messages. Here is our Facebook group. Tap in if ever you have a question, or if you just want to see how other people are using their oil. Here is my number. Contact me if you need anything. Would you like to be on our Experience WhatsApp group? Hell no, I've got 1 million WhatsApp groups. Please do not put me on any WhatsApp groups. No problem. We have a hub. The hub is where you go so that you don't have to have another WhatsApp group. And we are going to teach people that there is another way to gather information that is focused. So I don't know about you, but Facebook is so noisy to me. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. So understand that when we are enrolling people, we're not trying to make a sale. We're actually trying to empower people and give them a toolbox that they can reach for, so that they feel, I have a place to start, a combination to start with. And so here's the truth. I can say this with so much confidence this far into the business, because to this day, I have many people who insisted on just buying 2 oils, and they have lived to regret it every single day. I have many people that bought the smaller kit and wish they bought the bigger kit. And I do not have anybody to this day who bought a big kit and said, damn, I wish I bought a small kit. That's a fact. That is a full-blown fact. So start with a smaller kit. Sometimes that's a deep dive into, it's even okay to start with a new beginner's kit, because it's tackling different places in your life. But if you want the real foundation of starting and being able to use the diffuser and to use the oils topically and internally, the Home Essentials is our bestseller. It's bestseller worldwide for your foundations of health. Okay. See here. Okay, I'm getting a question. Okay. I will find that person for you. If people need to find their mentor, we can do that. So you just find a way of getting hold of me. You must know how to get hold of me. Do you know how? Just write if you know how to get hold of me. Do you have my number? Everybody, you can take down my number. Because you should all be on the main builders group now. Okay, as long as you know how to get hold of me, I see the full picture. Okay, so I'm going to let you run if you need to run. If you have other questions, can people buy? Really help me with my 100 PV order? Yes, but then they don't have a membership and they don't get that community. You are not selling oils. Oils are the foundation of the community, of crowdsourcing, of this health support, of going back to the way where we used to share. I have used this, it has worked. I have rubbed these herbs together and I've made a pack. This is remembering. This is of communities were always like this. Okay, any other questions? I'm going to stop sharing, see your faces. Anybody else got any questions before we go on to the next one? This is a very practical class. It's not so sexy. Next week we dive into actually inviting people and some of the hard questions we get, and also maybe some of the things like why this way, and MLM, and I get asked hard questions and all of that. We're going to bring all the hard questions. But right now we have 5 steps that we need to do. So go and find the hub, because from the hub, we've got a comment section. So even if you're in the hub and you're like, okay, I'm in the hub now. Now, please, guys, where do I go for this? How do I find it? There's a search bar in the hub. It works really well. So, and we look forward